Topic on today's health, whether or not to vaccinate your children. As states require more vaccines for school-aged children, an increasing number of parents are saying no, citing religious reasons or simply believing vaccines will do more harm than good. Today, two moms shared their experiences. Honey Rinicella vaccinated her two boys, who then had serious side effects. Suzanne Walther did not vaccinate her third child, who then developed spinal meningitis. Honey and Suzanne, welcome to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, honey, let's start with you. Let me start with you. You have twin boys, okay? They were, as babies, they were rambunctious and just, it seemed happy. Then at 15 months, after they'd had their vaccines, something started to change. What did you notice?
Okay, well, I have identical twins, and the first part is that they're very different. My one son started to go in the corner, look at books constantly. It was almost as if all of his expression was gone from his face. He didn't make eye contact. We thought he might be deaf. He appeared to have, in some sense, lost his soul.
Okay.
My other son, he just became very odd behaviors, just started occurring. He started spitting stuff. He started licking stuff. He just was very in his own world, into playing in his own mind.
So at what point did you say, uh-oh, there's a problem here, I need to get this checked out?
Right at 15 months. I actually...
What did the doctor say then?
Let's wait and see.
Okay, then 23 months, I mean, you're still going back and noticing.
Well, I went back in my
changes.
18-month checkup, and I said, you know what, something happened with my vaccines. I am not going to do any more today. And he said, let's send you to get some, evaluations.
Why were you so certain that the vaccines had something to do with their behavior?
At the time, I had 3 kids under 2 years of age when I'd had my children, and I had a full-time nanny, and I had somebody right there with me watching them, chronologically tracking their progress, and then I saw such regression that I just knew.
It's hard for you, isn't it, just to talk about it?
It's awful. It's hard for me to not cry.
You went to a neurologist, and what did the neurologist say about your twins?
At 27 months, we went to a very well-known neurologist in Atlanta, Georgia. At 27 months, they were now at their 50-month visit, they were developing completely on target. We have the form. At 27 months, they were on a 9-month level. They had completely...
What did the neurologist say the source of the problem was?
Well, that's where this was all new to us. She was like, bring your shot chart, you need to bring all your records of your vaccines, you need to bring your pregnancy records, and she said, we need to rule out heavy metal poisoning.
Must have been terrifying to hear that.
Didn't know where it came from.
Was there any other, you're convinced that the heavy metal poisoning came from the vaccines, anywhere else you can think of that your kids may have gotten this? There's no way.
I am a very health conscious woman. I nursed for 16 months. I mean, I'm very...
Organic food, the whole 9 yards. Okay, so you're involved in a lawsuit, I know, and I just want to read, we do have a statement from the medical establishment. They say, the Health and Resources and Services Administration has reviewed the scientific information concerning the allegations that vaccines cause autism and has found no credible evidence to support that claim. How are your kids doing now, by the way, honey?
They're okay. One, at 21 months, we started therapy, like 40 hours a week, intense therapy, biomedical treatments, the diet. Jenny McCarthy is definitely my hero. We're in the same, path. My one son, I think we will recover. My other son will need lifelong care. He is completely nonverbal. He is in the process of learning to talk with a communication device. No concept of danger. Monday, yesterday, I put him on the bus. He ran right out into the road. Like, very severe children.
You're a strong woman, by the way. I can just see it. I know it's hard.
I'm trying.
I know it's really hard. Suzanne, you vaccinated your first 2 children, and you decided not to vaccinate your third, Mary Catherine. Why did you make that choice, not to vaccinate?
While I was pregnant with my third child, someone told me vaccines are not safe. They don't do the job they're supposed to do. They don't really work, and they're immoral.
And you were a med tech at Vanderbilt, so you were in the medical community.
I was in the medical community.
You had a sense of vaccines, but so when you made that choice, what did you say to the pediatrician when you said, look, I don't want any of that?
I said, I've got a lot of questions here. How do they work? Who makes them? And how are they made? And what are the risks? I want to know. Your
11-month-old daughter, Mary Catherine, went to a birthday party and came back with a high fever. What happened? What was wrong with her?
She didn't have a real high fever. She was a little bit puny for about a day and didn't nurse. And then she went asymptomatic. So it was by the grace of God that her pediatrician, knowing me for the last 6 years with our other children, took my gut reaction and sent us to the hospital. So she was diagnosed at the onset of her meningitis, and her treatment was effective.
So she was diagnosed with spinal meningitis, and you're saying because you didn't get that vaccine?
Right. HIV vaccine is a very effective and safe vaccine.
She's okay, we should say now.
Wonderfully
Thank God. If you had it all to do over again, would you have vaccinated her with the whole battery of vaccines that they require?
I very well could have. Of course, I can't go back in time and look at it every single day. There are contraindications for vaccines at certain times, and not all the healthcare providers will
What's interesting about you two is you both are sort of on the same page. You think that you should get some vaccines, but not, you think all of them may not be good for all kids.
And it's not that all of them aren't good. It's that all of them aren't good for every child at every appointment.
Well, we're going to, you know, we're going to bring in 2 doctors in our next segment, and they're going to talk a little bit about what you guys have mentioned. We'll be back after this.